Welcome everybody to today where we celebrate the Epiphany of the Lord. And today's Sunday, January 4th, 2026. And so, to begin this reflection, let me ask you guys this question. What does it mean by Epiphany? Today, we commemorate that Jesus had came to each and every one of us here as he was already born since last Christmas. In today's gospel, we are presented with the three wise men who were sent to Jesus where they gave Jesus frankincense, gold, and myrrh. Now, before we get more into details about the gifts to which they offer to Jesus, we gotta take into consideration why did the three wise men visit Jesus? If we remember back at the old times, we know that King Herod was the one that told the three wise men to go and see Jesus so that they can report it back to him so that he can also go and see Jesus. And if we look back upon King Herod's intentions, we know that King Herod the Great does not have a good intention. Because if we are to look back at the history of King Herod, we know that he had first married a wife. And for more years to come, King Herod had divorced his wife to the extent that he married dozens of other wives. And according to the article, it states that he had wanted to become more loyal, so therefore he married other sets of people to the extent that he had murdered other family members to which he had divorced the second wife and up. And if we look, King Herod was appointed king to which he helped to build many nations up. And throughout his period, he focuses his attention more on the politics and the family aspect. Hence, this is why he married multiple wives, because he wanted to improve himself. But when it comes time to when Jesus was born, we know that King Herod the Great was deeply distressed. It's just like all of us are doing something important, all of a sudden there are other people who done things better than each and every one of us. Chances are all of us are going to feel very bad about ourselves because somebody is better than us and they are going to be there to replace all of us. Hence, it makes our life miserable. Or to put it into another set of perspective, imagine that we are music composers and we attracted millions of audiences to the extent that over the later years, we come to recognize that there is another musical composer who has taken away all of our audience viewers. And so how would we feel about that? Knowing that the audience is being taken away. Our fans have moved on. And so this is exactly how King Herod felt. He felt very agonized to the extent that he sent the three wise men to go to see Jesus so that when King Herod goes to see him, he doesn't go just to worship, but he goes to destroy Jesus because he's focused more on himself rather than bringing himself towards the kingdom of God. And he can be seen as very cruel person. And so, what lesson can we learn from this first part of the reflection to which I have mentioned? All of us throughout our day-to-day lives have lived forth the journey of faith. And there are some times where unexpected things happen. And sometimes it strikes us to the point where we don't even know how to react to these unexpected events and situations. And so more often than not, all of us here are going to try and oppose these unexpected events as we wish that it never had happened. But Jesus wants to continue to teach each and every one of us to adapt to the changes and to allow this new change to be an opportunity for each and every one of us here to continue to grow in our journey of faith so that we can allow ourselves to be drawn closer to God. And so all of us here should strive to continue to pray and continue to live forth our journey of faith, knowing that Jesus is going to be there with each and every one of us. Hence, this is why we celebrate Epiphany, because Jesus is there for each and every one of us. He has already transformed each and every one of us to become good disciples. But how often do we allow ourselves to be transformed by Jesus so that we can continue to become good disciples of Christ? This is the big challenge to which Jesus wants to pose to each and every one of us as we allow ourselves to journey towards Him. And then, reflecting upon when the three wise men met Jesus, they were so overjoyed because the Son of God had came, as He was born in a manger where it is considered a dirty place. Jesus was indeed born poor, to the extent that He had helped to bring other people towards Him as they follow Him to the kingdom of heaven. And so therefore, each and every one of us, as we continue to live forth our journey of faith, should call to mind the moments to which baby Jesus had truly impacted each and every one of us. And our thoughts that we have about ourselves and with others, our words to which we bring out to God and to others and to ourselves, and through what we do. How does Jesus continue to impact each and every one of us? Do we allow baby Jesus to be able to touch our own lives so that we can strive to continue to improve ourselves? And so, looking at the gospel, we can see the three wise men were very, very overjoyed, to the extent that they offered Him frankincense, gold, and myrrh. All of us here have gifts to which we offer to God. But God doesn't expect so much out of each and every one of us other than our own hearts. Because we gotta come to realize that our love for Jesus is what counts a lot more than what we just give to Jesus. We can give Jesus $1 million but still not be happy. Because why is that? We do not treat Jesus as our prophet. We don't treat Jesus like our bank loaner, to which if we are to listen to Jesus, we earn the amount of credit. Here, each and every one of us here should strive to continue to love Jesus unconditionally, as he had continued to grant us this gift of life, so that we are able to live a good life. We can prepare ourselves for the kingdom of heaven. And God exactly taught each and every one of us how to do so. And so all of us have gifts to which we offer to God. And Jesus does not expect a lot, but he wants each and every one of us to offer ourselves towards him. And we don't have to be a perfect human being, because all of us are considered imperfect. And so Jesus comes to each and every one of us as we live throughout our journey of faith. And sometimes it may be considered challenging, as we don't know how to deal with these difficult life situations to which all of us here are going through. But Jesus always has our back. He wants all of us here to be able to return to him, so that when time comes, we are ready for this next life to which Jesus himself has promised to each and every one of us as we continue to live forth this journey of faith. And then, reflecting upon the end of the gospel, the angel told the 3 wise men in a dream to not return back to King Herod, to which they went another way. And now, how does King Herod react to this? Going back to the topic of King Herod, once they did not go back to King Herod, he became enraged as they didn't do what he wants. And indeed, when somebody does not do what you want, chances are you're going to try and get revenge out of the other people who strive to not follow the orders. And so his jealousy of Jesus becoming a king rose to the extent where King Herod had placed an order to which every male child under the age of 2 shall be considered executed. And Jesus at the time classifies under the age of 2. And so therefore, the angels warned Saint Joseph in a dream to go and fly into Egypt, because King Herod is going to come after them. And so, as a result of that, Saint Joseph have listened to the point where he helped his family go to Egypt and stay until the death of King Herod the Great. And so, after that, the angel then told Saint Joseph to go and return to Nazareth. And so, each and every one of us here can learn about the potential dangers to which it is going to approach throughout our lives. And how do we continue to deal with these situations so that we can strive to grow ourselves closer to God. Because the devil wants to bring each and every one of us away. Because guess what? Even the devil tried to tempt Jesus by using his word to bring Jesus away. But Jesus does not fall for any temptations. So each and every one of us here are called to be aware of all the potential dangers to which it is heading towards each and every one of us. Because even the things that we like the most, the devil can try to work through that, tempting each and every one of us to go away from Jesus. And so each and every one of us here are called to love Jesus and to say no to the devil, to try and avoid all the temptations to which it's going to endanger all of us, especially in our journey of faith to which each and every one of us here are living forth. And so I challenge each and every one of us today to go and reflect upon the words to which Jesus is speaking to each and every one of us. And I challenge each and every one of us to go and make a promise to Jesus, asking him to help guide each and every one of us to give up all of our bad habits to which we have developed in our day-to-day life, but to grow more the good habits which enables us to love Jesus more.